Good evening, brothers and sisters. I testify to give the glory and the honor to the Lord. I started listening to the teachings from Sister Maria Luisa during the pandemic when my family started sharing these videos with me. And in that second prayer that I heard from Sister Maria Luisa, that second live stream teaching that I saw, I felt as if something was being pulled out of my chest. And it was such a strong feeling that the whole day my heart physically hurt. And I would cry, but I felt peaceful, but I would still cry so much. And at that moment, I did not understand it, but I saw how the Lord delivered me from the hardness of my heart towards Him, of that defiance that I felt towards the things of the Lord. And He put such a desire and love for all His wonders that as time has passed by, I realized how the Lord has changed and continues changing my mindset of what I thought and who I was 2 years ago. Today, I am a different person. My mindset is so different that I now see Him as a God of love, merciful and great, because He has done a work in me with His spiritual blessings, with the baptism with the Holy Spirit, as well as He has done materially. And I have no words on how to thank Him for how He has healed me, how He has given me triumphs in my job, and I no longer feel lonely. I never felt that sense of abandonment ever again or depressed. And the Lord, always, through prayer or His Holy Spirit, is that rod and staff that helps us to keep moving forward. And I testify to give the glory and the honor to the Lord.
Descend on me, I pray. Come on me, Holy Spirit, oh, there you went today. Oh, come and breathe on me, Holy Ghost. I want to feel the great power of Pentecost. Descend.
Good evening, brothers and sisters. May God continue blessing you. Brothers and sisters, I have two brief testimonies to share with you. First, God in His holy prophecy and His mercy promised me that whatever I will be, He will be with me. In this moment, I am going through my professional career as a cop, and we were recruited in a field with 2,200 other men in the mountains in San Luis Tolima. And there, I was 2.5 months recruited, and I told the Lord every night that I missed the congregation. And any given Sunday, we had a live stream of the church service, and my phone was broken. I asked one of my colleagues to let me borrow his phone, and I was ready to watch the live streaming. And a colleague came close to me. I didn't know him, and he came close to me and said, "I want to confess something to you." And he began to say some things he had done in the past. And I want to hear, he said, of that lady, Sister Maria Luisa. When these colleagues said this to me of our beloved Sister Maria Luisa, I felt joyful and fearful at the same time because I don't feel capable of evangelizing. But I remember some of the previous sermons I've watched, and I said that Sister Maria Luisa was apostle of God, the daughter of God, supported and full of grace to teach His word. And he said he wanted to see something of God said by her. And I played the live streaming. God in His infinite mercy gave us that brief time. We couldn't see it all, but the Lord gave us about 1 hour and 20 to see her. And while we were singing chorus, Jesus loosens the bonds of sin, we were congregated, just to say it, in a shed there in the mountain. That colleague and the owner of the phone also came to us. It was 3 of us. When we began to sing this beautiful chorus, Jesus loosens the bonds of sin, I closed my eyes and I told the Lord, thank you for using me as a tool for them to know something about God, not being worthy myself. So then while we were singing, the chorus ended. And one of them said, can we repeat it again? I said, of course, there's no problem. And we began to sing the chorus for the second time. I closed my eyes and I felt joyful. I seen how our beloved Sister Maria Luisa came in through the door of the shed. Being there in that mountain, I saw how she entered in her beauty. She was wearing a beautiful olive green dress. She came through the shed And she was looking at those young men with beautiful eyes, and she laid hands on them. And I saw how she laid hands on them. And when she finished, she pointed a path to me. And there I understood, and the promise of the Lord became fulfilled, that He would be surprising me and using me as a tool, whatever I was. And all of this has testified to give honor and glory to the Lord.
I want to feel the great power of Pentecost. Descend, descend, descend on me, I pray. Come on me, Holy Spirit.
Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. May God bless you. I would like to testify to give the honor and the glory to the Lord, that the Lord, approximately 9 years ago, He would speak to me and tell me that after I got married, He would promise me and say that He would be giving me descendants. It was so, brothers and sisters, as time went on and that pregnancy didn't come. We went to the doctors, my husband and I, and they ran through various tests, and that's where the doctor gave me the diagnosis that I had polycystic ovaries, and I had problems with that. And he also said that I had my fallopian tubes completely obstructed. And he looked at me and he said that it was impossible for me to have a normal pregnancy, that the only way that I would be able to have a pregnancy would be to go through an in vitro fertilization process. And I remember at that moment, brothers and sisters, that my heart wasn't filled with sadness because I was holding on to the promises of the Lord, because the Lord had allowed me to have dreams where I saw myself having that family. He gave me visions where I saw that I had those little ones in my arms, and I was holding on to all His promises, and He always told me that He would be giving me that descendancy. And it was so, brothers and sisters, that 6 months again, during a normal routine checkup, we went, and it was for the surprise of the doctors and our surprise that I was 5 weeks pregnant. And at that moment, the doctor looked at me and he was shocked, and he said he didn't know what happened, but that I would have to continue to be monitored. It was of great happiness for my heart to know that I was pregnant. I reached the 14 weeks of pregnancy where I began to feel badly, where I began to lose the amniotic fluid. And I was telling the Lord with great strength in my heart that He should do His will, that if He gave me that baby, it was His will, and if He took it away, it was His will also. But I asked Him to give me strength, because I felt a lot of sadness in my heart to know that I had waited for so long, and that if He was taking away the baby, it was His will. But it was so that the next day I lost that baby. It was a moment that was very difficult for my family, for me and my husband. But I remember that the Lord would tell me that He would give me strength and He would never leave me alone. I saw as time went on, and the Lord would continue to give me dreams and visions, and where He would allow me to see that family, where He would tell me that He would give me that baby, that pregnancy, but that He would heal and cleanse my body, that He would do a great miracle in my body. And it was so, brothers and sisters, that time went on, and the time of the pandemic came around, and my husband and I came back from New Jersey, the state where we were. And I remember that in the moments of the live feeds of the sermons, I would pray to the Lord. And there was a moment where Sister Maria Luisa prayed for the women who were not able to get pregnant. And I would say to the Lord and remember the Lord and remind Him of my promise, and to listen to the prayers of Sister Maria Luisa. And Sister Maria Luisa prayed that day, I remember so clearly. And it was so beautiful, brothers and sisters, that exactly 5 weeks after I became pregnant, and there was no need for any treatment, where once again the doctors would check me and they would say that it was a pregnancy of high risk and that I should take care of myself. And I was holding on to the promise of the Lord, and I would say to the Lord that He was very wise, and He knew and He knows how to do. He does His things. And it was a beautiful pregnancy, brothers and sisters, where I obviously had to take care of myself, but I saw the powerful hand of the Lord at every moment, where the time of pandemic came and I was able to stay home and take care of my pregnancy. And I give the honor and the glory to the Lord. Just like He said He would give me that baby, today He is a year old, brothers and sisters. And He is the happiness of my heart, because I look at His eyes and I see the powerful hand and the great hand and majestic hand that the Lord has. And that's why I want to testify, to give the honor and the glory to the Lord.